it would be possible that we could have the hearing on the allegation of misconduct against Puff Inc. Counsel is here, and he asked if it could be moved forward. Have any objection?
I have no objection.
Can you read the?
Sure. The commission will now take up matters on side 2 of the 2-page agenda, starting with the hearing on an allegation of misconduct as charged by Kenneth E. LaValle, Superintendent of Police, against Puff Inc., Claude Charlotte, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 171 Lakeview Avenue, on the report dated January 9th, 2010.
Is he here? He was here. He wanted to have it done. Okay. Can you see if counsel and
Here it is.
I think he's spending too much time at the State House. You're up. If you could introduce yourself for the record, please.
Yeah, Attorney Stephen Panagiotakis. I'm representing the New Olympia Restaurant. Customer?
No, this is on the hearing on Puff Inc.
Oh, you're doing that one?
Counsel, yep.
Okay, sorry about that. Claude? Thank you, members of the board. We're here today for the C-Spot on Lakeview Avenue. Claude Charlotte's my client. He's before you on 2 matters, I believe, one on 1/16 and one on 1/9/2010.
1-9 is the one they're dealing with at the moment.
Yep.
Thank you. On 1/9, there was an issue with 3 females outside of the C-Spot who caused a major disturbance, both for the patrons, for the employees of the C-Spot, and also for the police that showed up on the scene. These 3 individuals had come into the lounge. As far as Mr. Charlotte, he was there. He did not see them served. Very quickly, they had started an altercation with another female inside of the lounge. They had been, what his security people had told him, they had witnessed them taking other people's drinks, and that's what the altercation was about. His employees asked these 3 women to leave the premises immediately. That's when they started getting very belligerent and boisterous. They also were starting a fight with another woman who they took a drink from, but they got them outside, and that's where they continued their yelling and screaming and pushing and trying to fight people. But it was no way, as a result of Mr. Charlotte's or his business, I think they handled it appropriately. They had 3 people come in off the street. They mingled into the area, and they started taking drinks off tables from people, and they got them out. Just the question was, outside, these people didn't want to leave, and they were going to start a problem, and they did start a problem. So I think in that circumstance, he handled it responsibly.
Okay, if we could hear from the police department, please.
Mr. Chairman, on January 9th of this year at 1:39 a.m., Officer Ramos was on patrol in the Centerville area. He was on Lakeview Ave, and he saw a crowd in the street exiting from the C-Spot. Officer Ramos stopped to move the crowd along, and he had an interaction with 3 females who were in the crowd. All 3 females were intoxicated and told Officer Ramos that they had been assaulted inside the bar. Upon conducting a further investigation, Officer Ramos spoke to the security staff at the bar and confirmed that a fight involving the females had occurred inside, and he further learned that they had been instigating fights inside the bar. Further investigation and checking the records of the Lowell Police Department found that no calls were received from the C-Spot indicating that there was any problem there that night. And the end result of this incident was the 3 females were arrested for their conduct that night.
Okay, is Officer Ramos here?
Yes, Officer Ramos is here to testify.
Could you come up, please?
After Jim.
Okay, just state your name and address for the record.
I'm Alexander Ramos. Been working for the city of Lowell as a police officer for 5 years.
Okay. You had a crowd of people. What's a crowd of people?
A crowd of people, about 40 individuals outside.
How many?
About 40.
40?
Individuals. Yes.
40
I would say
people
more than
outside.
30. I'm estimating 40, but there's definitely more than 30.
This was at 1:39 though, like when closing is happening?
Yes, from when I arrived, this is what I see just before I even exit my cruiser, just a whole crowd like that. And that's when I started investigating, finding out what's going on there.
Was it only these 3 girls that gave you a hard time?
Well, these 3 girls were from what I seen, they were the instigators of the situation. But like I said, it was just a ruckus, an altercation. I couldn't even, it was just out of control. But mainly these 3 girls, I kind of pointed them out as the individuals that were causing the problem.
Did you have other police officers respond?
Yes, as soon as I came off on location, I gave off my location and the incident, the altercation, the number of people outside, and about within a minute and a half, the officers were there to assist me. It took probably 5 other officers that showed up, so numerous cruisers were tied up that night just for that incident.
Where were they originally when you encountered them?
This 171 Lakeview is in the corner of Coburn and Lakeview Avenue.
Well, I know the address, but were they
They were all
sidewalk, in the street?
They were in the street, in the sidewalk, just flowing out of the C-spot.
Okay.
Okay. When you went inside and talked to the people in the bar, did they give you a reason why they didn't call?
I was just patrolling. I ran across it, so I'm guessing that from when I spoke to the bouncers, they were telling me that I just got there as soon as it was going down. That's the reason.
There was a bouncer at the door?
The bouncers were
doorman?
yes, the bouncers were at the doors.
You ask him why he didn't call?
I didn't even get to the point. I was just trying to get everybody out of there, trying to finalize the situation there.
Did you just say that he said that it was going down as you arrived?
Yes, that's exactly what they were telling me. I asked them, what's going on here, and they just said, this just happened right now, it's going down right now. So, as I was arriving, this is when all this happened right in front of me.
Did anybody, did anybody at that time say to you they were causing trouble and we put them out of the bar, or?
Actually, I did get the information from one of the bouncers. The staff, they explained to me that the altercation took place inside. The information in my report was from the bouncers. I couldn't make any sense from anybody else through intoxication, but they told me the incident happened inside. There was an argument between the females and a fight ensued. And as they were trying to get the females out, that's when everything broke out.
Okay. Anything else?
Was anybody charged with an assault and battery? Like, were there any identified victims?
I couldn't
of any-
identify find another person, so all I could basically have was those 3 females as instigators. I couldn't find any more information. I gathered the names of the bouncers and the 3 females that were under arrest for disorderly and trespassing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The first thing here, the glaring, if you will, the glaring violation here that I see that's really got me bugged, because this one cost you nothing but a phone call. If you had a disturbance in that bar and you had called the police, it never would have gone out on the street. You wouldn't be here for this. They're not going to come in and arrest you or put a complaint against you because you picked up the phone and called. But you send that out to the street, and, you get in one of these gang modes, and somebody decides, well, if I can punch you in the face, I bet it'd be quicker if I could hit somebody else with a beer bottle. And it just escalates from that point. And that's the part that is so crazy about all this. I can't understand. You put the police at risk because by the time they get there, the thing has already started to escalate and get out of hand. If you called them the moment something went wrong, I would venture to say they would love to be able to go down to your bar and walk in and you'd say, well, they were having an argument and I got nervous. They probably would walk over and say, are you folks okay, or do we need to talk? And it's all over. Cut the fuse, it's done. Nobody's going to blow up and hit anybody. But you let that happen and you spill it out. And just because you took them out to the street, that even makes it worse. Suppose there were some people walking down the street and they got hurt and they weren't even in the bar. and 40 people, you had a crowd, and you get that crowd mentality. Everybody likes to see a good fight. They sure as heck won't get in the Golden Gloves ring and punch it out down there, but they will hit somebody, when they got a gang around them. This bothers me. It's not the fact that I can't prove whether they stole the drinks or they didn't steal the drinks. But what really bothers me is the fact that you put the police at risk, you took policemen from other areas in the city and caused them to desert their station, so you put the people in that portion of the city at risk, and here the police down there trying to resolve this problem that could have easily been resolved with a simple telephone call. Simple telephone call. Right.
All right, I have a very different take on it. The standard is under Rule 25, Regulation 25 of the License Commission, is that there has to be an immediate notification to the Lowell Police Department by telephone or otherwise when a violation of law, disorder, or disturbance is taking place on the licensed premises. The testimony I heard was that it was going down as the police arrived, and this was happening at the closing time, and that the police were immediately notified and aware of it because they were present. I guess you could make a phone call after the fact, but that's kind of like closing the door after the horse is out of the barn. If there was a notification to the police were obviously aware of the disturbance. The standard says,
If I could, and I think you'll see later, if I might,
What?
if I may speak?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I didn't interrupt the
No.
Commissioner. I think you'll see later in one of the other reports, Mr. Charlotte did call the police when there was a disturbance there. In fact, he says he has called the police before on occasion. This just happened so quickly. It was at the end of the night when people were getting out, and by the time they got out there, the police officer who was walking the beat was almost there.
Yeah.
So,
But
I mean, that was the
right in the
problem.
police officer's, right in the complaint here, it said that Officer Ramos attempted to clear the crowd from the street. In doing so, encountered female patron who exhibited signs. One woman claimed to have been attacked in the C-Spot by another female. Officer then spoke to the two employees of the C-Spot, John Matzos and Keto. Yes, and Officer Ramos was told that the three women had been instigating fights in the bar. That's instigating fights in the bar. That's all. It doesn't.
Was the one
I
that was
agree
there.
with my colleague here. He's right, but when they're in there and they're looking for a fight, you know yourself, you can't just push them out on the street because you're just giving them carte blanche. If they're in there instigating a fight, they're going to have it one way or the other. And most of the time, I do believe that a uniformed officer coming in, just walking around, it's amazing, it can have a calming effect. It can also have the wrong effect. I'm not saying they're perfect either, but it certainly would have been better if he knew that, according to what these people that work for you said, that they knew they were instigating fights. That's the time to call, right there. Nip it in the bud. That's all I'm saying. Nip that in the bud right away.
I would just say, after talking to Mr. Charlotte previous to this meeting, that in explaining the whole issue to me, the way that term is, it seems like they were there for a long time instigating fights. That was not the case. They had come in rather recent, close to closing, and there was one altercation of them taking a drink from somebody. They were told that they had taken it from other people. This woman stood up and said, "You took my drink." And that's what started the thing. They got them outside because they wanted to separate the woman who felt aggrieved. She stayed inside at that point and get the other three outside. Plus, they weren't buying anything. They were in there basically taking drinks from other people.
Any other questions? Anything else? What do you want to do?
to be honest, I would make a motion, place it on file. But I just can't find that there was a violation on the premises, and I can't find that there was a
No,
failure to
you-
notify the police, within a reasonable amount of time of the occurrence of the offense. I mean, absent more, I just can't make that finding.
He still had an obligation to call.
not if they're immediately making a verbal report, because it says by phone or otherwise. If this was a case where somebody showed up in an emergency room, said I was assaulted
I'll make a
there, and
motion.
nobody ever did anything. I'll make a motion to place this one on file, but I don't find that there was a violation.
I'll second the motion. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's do the next one.
Next one actually is two police reports on January 16th, the first at 2:44 a.m., and the second one is at 4:35 a.m. The 2:44 a.m. situation was Officer Latham, I believe, or Sergeant Latham, excuse me, was patrolling in the area, and he saw someone had come out smoking in front of the C-spot outside the door. There were a couple of people. They were still, and that's true, at the bar still at this time were Mr. Charlotte, two of his employees, his live-in girlfriend, and his stepdaughter, 23 years old. They were there helping clean up the bar so they could all leave. There was also another person there, Jenny Chanthy, who was not employed by the bar. She was there to pick up her boyfriend, who's one of the employees of the bar. As I talked to Mr. Charlotte, I said she definitely should not have been in the bar after closing. The other ones all are connected to the bar or employed by the bar. Sergeant Latham, when he walked by, he did see one of the employees actually drinking a bottle of beer, sitting at the bar drinking a bottle of beer. Nobody else was drinking, but this one employee was drinking. There were still bottles out that they were still cleaning up. This was at 2:40 a.m. It had been a busy night, and they still were trying to get the place cleaned up so that they could leave. On the 4:35 incident, that was an incident where they were still there, trying to get everything cleaned up. As I said, it was a busy night. Mr. Charlotte and his girlfriend did get into a verbal, and I want to underline verbal argument. She became very agitated and started throwing things around. He went and called the police and left, so there was no domestic dispute any further than the words that were exchanged. That's the sense of what happened on that incident.
Captain Webb.
Mr. Chairman, as Attorney Panagiotakis has said, on January 16th of this year, at 2:40 a.m., Sergeant Latham was on patrol in the Lakeview Ave area in front of the C-spot. He saw a number of people hanging around outside and some people going back into the bar. Sergeant Latham got out of his cruiser and he looked in a window and he saw people inside, both behind the bar and in front of the bar. He saw a man sitting at the bar drinking a beer. Sergeant Latham summonsed Officer Bowler, and together they entered the bar, and they found Mr. Charlotte and Ms. Hall, among others, in the bar. And at 4:35 a.m., Officer Bowler responded again to the C-spot for a disturbance call, and he found Mr. Charlotte and Ms. Hall inside. His investigation found that the interior of the bar was in disarray and that there had been a domestic argument between the two. And both Sergeant Latham and Officer Bowler are present here today.
Okay. Sergeant Latham, or one of you come up and just introduce yourself in your own words, not from just tell us in your own words.
I kept that just in case anyone asked me a name.
Who was this officer?
Huh?
Who was the officer?
Sergeant Latham.
Yes, my name's James Latham, Latham. I'm a sergeant with the Lowell Police Department. What I'm here for is the incident on January 16th at approximately 2:40 in the morning. I went by the C-spot, and I saw several people outside the bar. Some were coming in, some were going out of the bar, and there were three people walking along towards West 3rd Street on Coburn Street. I got out of my vehicle, the police cruiser, and I called Car 2, Officer Bowler, who had been on 5th Street, right around the corner, and I summoned him to respond to the C-spot. I was familiar with the owner of the business from speaking with him a week prior, warning him about something similar, verbal warning. At that point, I waited for Officer Bowler to show up. I was in the doorway of the bar, and there was a person at the bar who had tucked a beer into his crotch area. He was sitting at the bar, and he was concealing it from view from me. When Officer Bowler showed up, I went in, there were several people who were still inside the bar who were all identified in the police report. I went up to the male who was sitting at the bar, told him to take his beer out, put it on the counter. In front of him, to his immediate left on the bar, was a full, not a full beer bottle. There was a beer bottle with beer inside of it. Also on the bar was another beer bottle. Behind the bar was Mr. Charlotte. Charlotte was cleaning the bar, rearranging things behind the bar, and there were several other people. I spoke to someone who identified himself as a doorman, who told me that every single person inside the bar was an employee there or a relative of the owner of the bar, and that they were just leaving at that time. I spoke to Mr. Charlot, and he appeared to be very angry, not at me, but at the doorman for allowing this to happen.
Wasn't he in the bar when you got there?
Yes, he was behind the bar.
He was but he was mad at the doorman to let this happen?
He was angry at the doorman, yes.
Okay. Was the only one guy drinking? Only one person that you saw?
That I saw, yes.
Person?
Yes.
Okay. Anything? Thank you.
Okay.
He's completely right. Mr. Charlotte was very upset that the doorman was drinking. That's who he was upset at, not the other doorman that would allow that doorman to drink, just so you know. He didn't see him, must have been busy doing his other things, but he thought that there was just some beers left on the bar. He didn't know he was drinking from it. He knows it's wrong.
Why did he get mad at the doorman? He owns the bar.
Because the gentleman was drinking.
It was the doorman that was drinking?
Yes, exactly. Everybody in this situation, except for the one woman I talked about who was going to give one of the employees a ride home.
How big a place is this?
How big is it? How big?
How big is
How
it?
many square foot?
Is it that big? Well, I mean,
About 3,200, he says, square feet.
I'm sorry?
He says about 3,200 square feet, more or less.
Well, I mean, it took till 4:30 in the morning to clean it up?
Again, it was a busy evening.
I know this is 2:30 when they first went in, but they
Right.
were still there.
Yeah, he was still there.
Okay. Well, even at, I mean,
And yeah, at 4:30, just so we're straight.
yeah, we'll get.
The other people had left. It was just him and Leslie were there at 4:30.
Right.
Him
For
and
the
his-
dispute.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So you had 5 people? 5?
6, actually.
Six?
6, actually, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about you want to go to the next one? Yeah. Yeah. Why don't we just go to because it's all the same day, it's the same complaint. So if you don't mind, if Officer Bowler could come up and speak to the 4:35 incident.
That's correct,
Was
Commissioner.
anybody drinking when you went in at 4:35?
No, none that I noted, Commissioner.
How did you gain access to the bar?
When I arrived, Mr. Charlotte, who I knew from numerous prior incidents, met me at the front door of the bar.
Okay, I gotta stop you right now, and it's nothing personal against you or anything. The other officer said, I knew, because, times that he's been there before. You just said numerous times. How many times have you stopped in that bar?
Several years prior to this, I had been assigned to walk the route in that area. Therefore, I stopped in, as you said, numerous times, not specifically to investigate certain things, although occasionally there was times, but I stopped in a number of times as well. Well in excess of 10, 15, 20 times.
Really? And these are the 2 times that, this is the first time that you've actually written the bar up for anything?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
By way of explanation for that, I was previously assigned to work until 12:30. I just recently started working after 12:30, so that would be the more primary time for this sort of activity for bars. I arrived on scene. Mr. Charlotte met me at the door. Appeared distraught, upset. I stated his longtime girlfriend was destroying the interior of the bar. We both went inside, spoke with Leslie Hall, who I knew to be his girlfriend. They were the only two people on scene. The bar was in disarray. The chairs were all thrown over. Stated there was damage to a back room. There were other items thrown on the floor from the bar.
Did she seem intoxicated, or?
Neither of them seemed particularly intoxicated.
Okay, and so did you say, let's lock this up and go home, or?
That's pretty much what happened in the end, Commissioner.
You didn't arrest either one of them?
No, neither one of them wished to pursue any charges. They both stated it was an argument during which Ms. Hall damaged some property that they co-own. At that time, they were advised to lock the bar and go their separate ways. I believe Ms. Hall went to their house. Mr. Charlotte stayed in Boston for the night.
Okay. Anything? No, thank you.
Thank you.
Captain Webb, I think it's important for the folks in attendance and the folks watching understand that, you know, when they're saying they've been there numerous times, that, you know, some of the times that they respond, the police officers try to work with these people. And I would like people to know that, you know, so I'm of a different belief. You know, I'm going to tell you twice. The next time I'm going to hit you upside the head with a 2x4 and get your attention, you know? But I'm not going to go back 10 times. I'll guarantee you I'm not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. And I find that sometimes when the police get involved in some of these things, they try to work with the community, they try to work with the business people, they try to educate the people and say, look, maybe if you do this or this, it calm things down. But unfortunately, a lot of times people they just don't take that seriously. They just don't follow through on it and understand that somebody might be trying to help them resolve a problem before it goes before this board or before it goes to litigation in a lawsuit or something like that. And when this officer and the officer before were talking about knowing them because they'd been there so many times, you know, that tells me that they've really overextended themselves to try to help him understand what he can and can't do, because obviously they could have. I'm amazed that they let the two of them go. I don't know, you know, it's not a domestic dispute in the sense that, but if it was a husband and wife, I think the guy would have gone to jail, and we would have probably been seeing you there. But that's, you know, excuse me, go ahead.
Oh, my God. I'll be honest, I'm really not concerned with the 4:30 in the morning incident. Police officers arrived on scene in response to a call, determined there'd been no physical altercation. It had just been a verbal altercation. Some mutually owned property may have been tossed about, but that's the advantage of ownership. You can break it if you own it. You know, that's it. So I think in this, you know, it was good the police were called to avoid any incidents. Did the right thing on the 4:30 one. The 2:40 in the morning one is the problem. It's on the record. It's admitted that the guy was consuming alcohol after hours. It was observed by the police officers, written up.
Interrupt for a second, just for a note. The Alcoholic Beverage Commission, even though you own the place, you are not supposed to be in there after hours. They give you a certain allotted time. I don't know, there was a formula or something at one time somebody said. You had a certain amount of time that they said was a reasonable time to clean the bar. And then you're supposed to lock it up and go home. So, I mean, that's just for your benefit. I don't know what it is, but I do remember back in the horse and buggy days, they said you can only be in there for a certain, and I'm sure that 4:30 in the morning doesn't cut it with them. So it's just something for your benefit to know that if it had been an ABC inspector, you probably would be going to Boston to talk to them about this, because they would say, no, it didn't take you that long to clean the bar. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, that was it.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for a 3-day suspension, but held in abeyance for a period of 6 months, of probation. I think that's, you know, in light of what we've got as far as any kind of incremental history, I think that's a good incremental start. And, I mean, my expectation is that you'll be on your best behavior for the next 6 months. This will go away. It's an incentive for you. If not, you know, then it's a 3-day suspension that'll kick in. But that's my motion and my thoughts behind it.
Would you 6
3 suspended
months,
for 6,
3 days suspended?
held in abeyance for 6 months of probation.
Mr. Commissioner,
Okay,
if I
yes.
could interject just very
Yep.
quick. Just for procedural purposes, it would, I think, be helpful if we made if you're holding it in abeyance on probation, as it were, for any violations not already pending before the commission.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think they have anything pending right
But,
now.
okay, well, just for the record, we'll clarify it and mean it that.
Right. They don't have anything pending right now?
Right, okay.
No,
So,
okay.
for anything new,
You said they didn't, didn't you?
okay.
Okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right, I'm gonna second it. I'm gonna second that. Main thing that bothers me, as I said to you earlier, and I won't belabor the point, but telephone. Everybody that works for you, the bouncers, the bartender, everybody should have the police phone number right there on. They all carry cell phones. Boom, you hit the button. Can you ask the cruiser to come by? It's recorded. We know that you called. You know, that's going to be 2 steps in the right direction before you even walk through that door. Do you understand? Do you have any questions at all? Okay? Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, now you want to do,
One-day licenses?
he's doing the, oh, there's the man from the courthouse.
You want to just do the
So
one-day?
did
What
you
he
want
wants to do,
to,
he's got to go to Boston.
did you want to proceed with the application for the new Olympia change of manager? Okay. Commission will now take up the matter of the
For one
change of manager for the application for the new Olympia restaurant, all alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee. We're doing it now. I mean, this,
I thought you were going to take care of the budget for us. We put in for a raise.
this would be for change of manager, a record to Konstantinos P. Kokalis of Tewksbury, Massachusetts.
Where's that? Which one is it, Red?
This is a application by the New Olympia Restaurant for a change of managership. Konstantinos Kokalis is here with me. He has been the bar manager and restaurant manager, not manager of record, but running the business for over the last 10 years. His duties have gotten more and more. He's taken on, and now he is taking care of most of the daily activities and management. The previous manager of record, Socrates Tingus, who was the longtime co-owner of the Olympia restaurant, passed away recently, and so that's why we are asking for the change of managership.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record.
Yes, my name is Konstantinos Kokalis.
Okay. Captain Webb? Have we done the appropriate checks, the background checks on this gentleman?
Mr. Chairman, if I may just interject at this point, on to do with background checks, the Lowell Police Department does not conduct that any longer.
Okay,
It is through the Office of the License Commission, and I submit a form to the Criminal History Systems Board.
yeah.
I have nothing to report, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Certainly you've had enough experience working at working with a liquor license, and you've been there for a good long time and have great food and everything. I don't see a problem with it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
There you go.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay.
Commission will now take up the matter to do with special one-day license applications for alcohol beverages. For malt beverages and wine only, Joseph Bew of Heinz's Tavern, Sunday, March 14, 2010 is the date of the event, is from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. The event is the Heinz's Road Race Concession Entertainment in the parking lot of the Heinz's Tavern at 465, 467 Gorham Street. Mr. Bew has also filed a special one-day sound permit amplification, also for the same event from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. This will include a band, recorded music, loudspeaker system, and the sound equipment.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Joe Buell, Heinz Tavern.
Okay, and you've done this before, right, Joe?
Yes.
And we've never had to go down there, have we?
No.
I'd like to hear that.
Motion to approve the licenses.
Seconded.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yep, thank you, Joe.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, hope you have a great day.
Commission will now take up an application for beer and wine only for Sharon M. Blasich of the Lowell High School Class of 1975 Reunion Committee for the event scheduled for Saturday, August 7, 2010, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The event is the Lowell High School Class of 75 Reunion to be held at the Shed Park Pavilion on Roger Street. Mr. Chairman, the Board of Parks approved on January 27, 2010, the Lowell High School Reunion Committee's request to use the Shed Park Pavilion and the surrounding green space for the date of August 7th, 2010, from the hours 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., with a referral to the License Commission for the alcohol beverage license.
Introduce yourself for the record.
My name's Sharon Blazich. I'm representing the Lowell High School Class of 75 Reunion Committee.
Sharon, how much of the park are you gonna use?
The pavilion, and we were gonna put a volleyball net up right in front
Are
of the
you gonna
grassy
fence it
area.
in, or what are you gonna do? How are you gonna be able, what I'm concerned about is controls.
Well, we were gonna have just people drinking in the pavilion area at all, and have the beer or wine set up on the balcony part of the pavilion.
Yeah.
And we'd have probably like, it roped off a little bit so that people can't come on to the pavilion itself. And they'll be told that they cannot.
You give some kind of definition to this, because if, a reunion, people want to walk around and talk, and boy, Charlie, have you gained weight, you blossomed right out.
You're saying that it's just going to be on the pavilion, in that
Yeah,
the
but
front
it's gonna
steps,
stop
the
them.
front steps to the field house, you won't let anyone down those steps with alcohol?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to try and
Well,
control it.
I think that is the only way to do it, would be to just have it on the pavilion, because as soon as you
And
go
we'll
down
put
the
up
steps.
signage.
So I would just say, as long as you have a sign on the top of the steps that say no drinks beyond this point, you'd be in
Right.
good shape,
Okay.
all right?
Okay? Only other thing is that you have to know is this is your license,
Yes.
not Lowell High,
Yes.
not the class of 75. It's your license. So you have to be aware of that fact. If you feel for any reason, you just heard me talk to this gentleman who owned the bar. I always say to folks, have the police number right there on your cell phone. Boom. Press the button. I'm sure they would come over. If you start to see things get out of hand, boom. Shut the bar down. This is my license, and I'm not losing everything I've worked for my whole life because somebody decides they're gonna, show you how well they can drink since they graduated in 1975. I'm sure they wouldn't, though. Okay?
Well,
So-
we were hoping to, or we were planning on getting a police detail.
Yeah,
I just thought that was a
Good.
prudent thing to do.
okay. You guys probably can't remember back that far.
I would make a motion, I wasn't born yet, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion-
I'll second the
Motion made and seconded. Look, you think it's easy, huh? I wasn't even born yet. Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Next.
Commission-
You're all set. I hope you have a great day.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Commission will now take up the matter to do with a public amusement application for a concert. It's co-produced, Jam Productions, Frank Productions, and Mass Concerts, putting on the event for Saturday, February 13, 2010, 7 p.m. The Song Center at UMass Lowell for 300 Martin Luther King Jr. Way. The performers, 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin, with special guest Flyleaf.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Paige Schaller, Marketing and Event Coordinator, Songus Center, UMass Lowell.
Jeff Lasante, Director of Finance, Songa Center, UMass Lowell.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about this 3 days grave. I'm more important. Tell us about Benjamin.
We won't be breaking Benjamin that night, but we have had both these bands here actually about a year ago, same weekend. So it's
But what is it, a band?
yeah, they're
Oh,
just
it's music.
bands. Yeah, 3 bands.
Oh. Like rock and roll music or
Yeah, yeah.
noisy music?
Noisy.
This guy's
and
going
rock.
yes, she's going no.
No, I said noisy and rock. Yeah.
Noisy Rock, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Brian's heard of them.
Motion made and seconded. I was born after this. I want you to know that. Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Commission will take up a matter that has been continued from December 17, 2009. It's a hearing on the application for change of corporate officer, director, manager, and transfer of corporate stock for the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee Fairleigh Corp. of Lowell, Mass., doing business as the Courtyard. Christopher B. Locapo is the president at 276-280 Central Street.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Attorney George Labonte, and I represent the Fairleigh Corp. of Lowell. And we were before you last month, and we requested a continuance because we didn't have a lease with the landlord at that time. Again, I am happy to report that we have an agreed-upon lease. However, it hasn't been signed yet, to my knowledge. The landlord and tenant are supposed to be meeting today, tomorrow, within the very near future. Until I actually have that in hand, signed lease, at that point, then I would like to present it to the board, to the commission. So I would like to ask for a further continuance to the next meeting.
Motion for a continuance.
Second.
All in favor say yes.
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 Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Next on the agenda.
Just if I can go back one step
Yeah.
on the request by the attorney.
Attorney Labonte.
Labonte, please. One question had to do with the continuance request. It was approved for the February 25th meeting.
Yeah.
We anticipate we're not going to have a full membership at the board.
I will be here.
You will be present.
Yeah, my days got moved back one day, so
Oh, okay.
I will be here on the
Sorry.
25th.
You're all set.
So then, when's the next meeting? I thought it was March 11th.
It's February 25th.
Could I
If you
ask
want
for
March
March
11th,
11th? I
maybe March
apologize. I thought it was for March 11th.
Actually, 11, yeah.
All right, March 11th.
March 11th.
I have something on my schedule for
No
the 25th.
problem. Now, you won't be here. Hey.
Thank you.
Never mind.
Sorry.
Next on the agenda.
We can't do it now. All right. Sorry. Commission will now take up the matter to do with the change of manager for the Lowell Firefighters Association, the all-alcoholic beverage club licensee at 362, 364 Fletcher Street. Stanley W. Trzynski would be the proposed new manager for the Firefighters Club.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Attorney Dennis Cormier. I'm here representing the Lowell Firefighters Association. It's for a change of managers. Mr. Trzynski has been intimately involved in the management of the club for over 25 years. He's been on the board of directors. They'd like to pass along the management to him on a day-to-day basis.
Who's the manager now?
The manager has since been let go for reasons of, they had to cut down on the payroll. In these fiscal times, things are a little tight, so Mr. Trzynski is going to offer his services for free to do it until things get a little better fiscally for them and they can afford to pay someone to do it full-time.
Who's the manager?
This guy's still a manager, but he's been let go.
All right.
Richard Beauchesne was the former manager. He's no longer working
Still
there.
responsible right now.
Yes.
That's what makes this law so crazy. Okay.
Anything for the...
I was waiting for you to say something. Okay.
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, I can't report on anything publicly to begin with.
Yeah.
So if I don't asking for any kind of
Okay.
recess.
Got it.
All right. So you've been there 25 years as a bartender?
No.
No.
It's on the board of directors.
Board of directors.
Yeah, boy, okay.
Mr. Trzynski isn't going to be working the bar at the club. He's
Okay.
there for management services only.
Okay. Have you ever taken a tips course, or? No, sir. No? Okay. Well, the only thing I would say to you is, I mean, as far as the club goes, I don't think we've had any problems with them, have we, Jack?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No. Okay, and we don't want any, all right? So, understanding that, number one is it's a private club, so it has a club license. Number two is that, working there and being around there, being a director or whatever, is totally different than being the guy that's responsible. Whoever you have I'm sure that you're gonna have other bartenders and whatnot, you're accepting responsibility for all these people, okay? Whether you're there, we were just saying that, Commissioner Occasion was just saying that the fellow that was, the bar manager is still the bar manager, even though he's not there right now. Even though he's not in your employ, he is still responsible. Until your name goes to Boston and comes back, he is. If the ABC walks in the club and said, who's the bar manager, better tell him this, Mr. Beauchene, or whatever his name is, because that's what they do, okay? So then you take over and you go to Florida, you decide, hey, I'm gonna get a couple of weeks and get some sun rays and lay in the beach. You gotta understand, whoever you leave there has to know that, they're not the manager. You're the manager. Where's the manager? He's in Florida laying on the beach, okay? And he is still responsible, okay? Any questions? No? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yep,
Good luck.
Thank you.
good luck.
It's gotta go to Boston.
Yeah. I said that. Yeah, you did. You're out of there quick.
Yeah. What, you weren't in 740 then?
No, I was in 620. Yeah. I was gonna come up and say hi, but like, I got there.
What's this,
We didn't even have to wait for the.
Rusty G's, Catherine Flood. No, this Gary got.
Imagine they spent that money to appeal this, and went and fought it, and then
This application requires notifying property owners touching and the church within 500 feet. There's also communication filed on behalf of the application by the owner or operator of the Cranberry Dive.
excuse me.
Commission will now open a hearing on the application by Rusty G's Corp., doing business as Rusty G's Place, Gary Gauthier, the president, for the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 731 Lakeview Avenue. 2 unnumbered doors east side. First floor, there's 1 room for restaurant lounge, a kitchen, office, storage room. Second floor, there will be 2 rooms for lounge, kitchen, and office. It is requested that Gary Gauthier be approved as the manager of record for Rusty G's Corp. Also, that Rusty G's Corp. Has filed the application for the following minor licenses for 731 Lakeview Avenue. Application for common vittler's license, application for entertainment and licensed restaurant for live music, disc jockey, and jukebox. And last is application for a license for automatic amusement device.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Attorney Catherine Flood here on behalf of Rusty G's Corp. And with me is Gary Gauthier. the president of the corporation.
Okay. Why don't we open the hearing up and where it's a public hearing, and then we'll, hear your side of it, okay?
Thank
All
you.
right. I guess we'd like to start with anyone in opposition to this license. Anyone in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed. Anyone to speak in favor? In favor? If you give your name and address, please.
My name is Anne Marie Page. I reside at 26 Fremont Street in Lowell, Mass., and I sit on the board of the Centerville Neighborhood Action Group. Mr. Gauthier has met with us, and we've had a discussion, and I've discussed it with the president, who couldn't be here at this particular time. And Mr. Gauthier did run his business as Rusty G's in the past. And from what I understand and from what we've checked out, he had no problem with the Lowell Police Department, he had no problem with the licensing board, and he had no problem evidently with his neighbors. Our problem over there can be parking and lights and other things. We're not mad about neighborhood bars, but we realize there is a need. Tavern at the Bridge is gone, Centerville Cafe, the building aside of him is gone, and he did have his building out to someone else, which turned out to be a nightmare for the neighborhood, and now he's going to take it over and run it again. He realizes what our situation is and what it means to the quality of life of people in the neighborhood. He has spoken with his neighbors in regards to other businesses in the area. He has offered to make an effort to put up some additional lighting in the area for security reasons, and also has made an offer to light up a parking lot that is one building over from his building, and that owner evidently has given him permission to park there. That owner has given him permission to put extra lighting on that parking lot, and he knows that anything goes wrong, we're not going to be happy in the neighborhood. But going by his past record, we feel that he will be able to keep it going as he did in the past. No problem, no trouble, run a tight ship. The fact that he's going to serve food is also a very good idea. But that's where we stand right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have a letter on file from Scott Conant. I'll just read it into the record. To whom it may concern, it's been brought to my attention that Gary Gauthier and company will again be my neighbor on Lakeview Avenue in Lowell. I must say the news came as a welcome relief. The most recent neighbor, Willie Tops, was a place that was the source of many problems. When Gary Gauthier was there, he was a most good neighbor. We even went to the city zoning board and gave permission to use our parking lot during his business hours. He saw to it the property was maintained in a safe and orderly condition. I don't know the process for reinstating Mr. Gauthier, but I feel confident that we again will have order again in the neighborhood. Should you have any questions, and it's signed by Scott Conant of the Cameo Diner. So that needs to go. Okay. Anybody else to speak in favor? No. Okay. Just tell us a little bit about.
As was stated previously, Gary Gauthier did in fact have a license at 731 Lakeview Avenue back in 2007. He was never brought in front of this board that I am aware of, and I don't believe there were any complaints when he was operating his establishment. Would you like to speak, Gary?
Yeah, I'm Gary Gauthier. There was one, we got caught in one sting, just to be sure. It was serving a minor. We served that, you gave us a suspended sentence with no problem, just to be on record saying that. My name is Gary Gauthier, and I understand the seriousness of what's going on about my property. I understand the security problems, the liability problems. I'm back here because it's really the basis of what the building was built for, was a club. So now that I've owned it the whole time. I sold the business, sold the whole package, and due to circumstances beyond my control, it fell apart. I thought I was doing the right thing. With time going on, I didn't get, rent wasn't paid, and of course it led to the demise of his own, he can't, it was self-destruct over there. I had nothing to do with that. It was an unfortunate situation, and all I can say is that I'm taking precautions now as I did in the past. There's a complete security camera system, as we all know there. There's an alarm system there with the quick response buttons that go directly to the police department through the security company, which is Nashua Security, which has been there all along. And I don't understand why it wasn't utilized before. We are, in fact, trying to get a variance from the AAB, I believe, from the state, so I can occupy the second floor as well. There's a variance been filed with the state already. It's due to, it's the only thing we can do to the front of that building is make it all part of the club. And I know that William Toppy had taken steps to scrape there was a safety issue there with the glass, totally understand. Good idea at the time, probably a bad idea now, looking at it, just because of security for the officers that need to come into the building, need be, understood.
Is the stuff still on the window, or is it off?
There's 50-50. It's being worked on as we speak. I'm taking extra precaution. I'm going above and beyond. With the granting of the license, we intend to buy the license swipe. That's another step we're gonna make to register everybody that comes in and out, trying to eliminate, just trying to take the precautions necessary. I learned, you can make mistakes once, and that's it. Then they're not mistakes anymore. So I do understand the liability. I do understand the seriousness of what had happened. I do understand in the future what needs to be done and what not. So with that being said, I asked the commission, because I left in good standing with the city, with the state. I had very minimal problems with the police department. It's a bar. There are situations that get out of hand, but we try to minimize it. Security is going to be unbelievable. We're working on lighting for the Cameo Diner, as was pointed out. I'm planning on running a separate line just for that parking lot off of my building on cabling, so I'm doing what I can. And it's owner occupied is the key here.
Absolutely, 100%.
I own the building. It's not like I'm renting it out. I'm not getting the license again to resell the building by any means. I just want to do this the right way one time again.
I would just make sure, and it sounds like you're going to, but if the license is approved and you open up, just make sure that the security is vigilant, because I'm sure at the start, you're gonna get the same group of people that were in there, and I don't think you want that.
No, the clientele is going to be key. Absolutely, I agree. And again, there's one in every crowd, and you do what you can to stimulate the situation.
The machines, aren't perfect.
Oh, I understand that.
You know that.
Neither are people.
Nothing like a good set of eyes, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly, okay? And I can, commission occasions, right on the button. Places seem to get a reputation.
Yep. Absolutely.
And we've had, times that they change ownership. One bar would get in trouble for selling drugs, and they change ownership, and the word doesn't spread.
I have a mountain to climb, sir, with this address right now.
You bet your life you
I'm
do.
aware of it.
And you've got that young lady sitting in the corner with her,
So
and they
that's
don't
not-
call her Eagle Eye for anything.
Right. I understand the situation.
Okay?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
Motion,
I'll second the motion.
no comment?
I mean, yeah, don't let stuff up on YouTube.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Good
I
luck.
gotta tell you, Gary, you must have done something, because, for the neighbors to come out to get a letter like that, you're definitely starting out on the right foot,
I'm trying. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay? Next.
Either of you guys do it, I think. Would you guys do it, I think? 3 for 6 months.
3 days suspended, held for 6 months. He didn't want to do anything. I would have shut him down. I would have given him a couple of days. Jesus Christ. Guys are unbelievable. Bunch of goddamn. I would have been. Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda.
Commission will now open up the hearing on the application by the Hookslide Kellys LLC, doing business as Hookslide Kellys. Michael J. Callery is the manager. All alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 19 Merrimack Street. For transfer of members' interest to a new member of Hookslide Kelly's LLC. It is requested that Brian D. McInerney be approved as the manager of record for Hookslide Kelly's LLC. And we have a member of the License Commission who has recused himself from this matter.
Okay, just 1 second, please. What do they mean, members? Okay, sir. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, George Theolides Jr., 133 Market Street, Lowell. And I'm here this afternoon on behalf of Brian McInerney, who's the gentleman to my left, and also with me is Mr. Callery. I think you know the gentleman on my right. And we're here today because Mr. McInerney, who's Lowell-born and currently living in Dracut with long roots and lots of family connections in Lowell, has decided that he wants to get his hands on operating a business, and in this case, Hookslide Kelly's. At the same time, Michael, who can speak for himself, but who's with me here, the Calleries have decided it's time to move on and do some other things for various reasons, and Brian is in the process of purchasing almost entirely their interest, but before he completes such a purchase and completes all of his financing or whatever, he wants to make sure that he's in the business, that he's getting trained at and knows it right. I should mention, by the way, that he's already taken a TIPS course and he's TIPS certified, and he's already spent almost the last 30 days or more in the premises under Michael and others' tutelage, learning more about the business every day. So we'd like to, we're here today to ask the board to approve the transfer. It's not a complete transfer because there are some financing things that still need to be completed, and because of that, the Calleries and Suzanne Thiemann have to hold a small interest. Otherwise, the particular note that's still being worked out with the LDFC would not continue on. So other than that, the transaction would be all completed at once, and obviously, before the final transaction and my client acquires the 100% interest, we'll be back here to assuming the board finds him acceptable to take over most of the operation right now. We'll be back when it comes time to complete the final part of the transaction. So I'm here, Mr. McInerney, Mr. Callery, to answer any questions.
Why don't we open it up, see if there's anyone to speak on it, Counselor?
I'm sorry.
It's a public hearing, so.
Well, we'll sit aside, yes.
Okay. Anyone here to speak in opposition? In opposition, in opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed. Anyone to speak in favor? In favor? In favor. That portion of the hearing's closed. Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Brian. Just tell me.
My name is Brian McInerney. I reside in Dracut, Massachusetts. For the past 10
That's a great place to be from.
I was born in Lowell, but I've been in Dracut my whole life.
Yeah.
I've been in the service and management industry for the last 10 years.
Where?
Actually, as a health club operator.
I'm sorry?
As a health club operator.
Okay.
And at this point, my interest is to go and manage Hookslide Kelly's, and under the tutelage of Mr. Callery, I've been there for the last month or so, understanding the operations, the security, and running a tight ship as they've done in the past 3 years.
Okay. So your only experience in the business has been just that 1 month that you've been there?
Yes, and I do have a TIP certification, but that is my...
And how long is Mr. Callery going to stay on with you for a while?
For quite some time.
What is quite some time?
I'm hoping several months.
Does that sound reasonable, Mike? I mean, they run a good place. Okay, I'll say right up front, I bring my grandson in there on Saturday. He thinks it's wonderful with all the games and the television sets, and and it's got a nice family atmosphere to it. And anytime I've ever been in there, I think they run a really nice ship. Everybody seems very friendly and it's a great asset to downtown. I don't think we've had any complaints against them as far as noise or we have numerous bars and we want people to come to Lowell, we want people to invest their money in Lowell, we want people to run businesses in Lowell, but not to the detriment of the rest of the city. And, unfortunately, some of them do, and they got, you got to understand that you're taking on a tremendous. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
You have any children?
I do.
You
One
do?
child. Yeah, newborn. 8 weeks.
Newborn. Hey, pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Newborn.
Yeah.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Well, okay, well, there's the future right there. You hang on to it for 20 years and pass it on. No? Good. I'm glad. You own a house?
Yes, I do.
Good. Okay. So you got some stability, and you know what responsibility is, and you know what it is to have a mortgage, and you know your name's going to be on that license.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to do anything to jeopardize your wife's, your children's future. So you need to make sure that you take steps. And just as I said to the managers before, and I'm sure that Mike has probably told you, but when people walk in and their first impulse, boy, are you lucky. You own your own business. Are you lucky? Isn't he lucky, Mike? Oh, my God, is he lucky? You have no idea how lucky you are. You're going to find out, though. I'm going to tell you, you're going to win the lottery because it's 24/7. It never ends. Never. And you gotta surround yourself with good people, people that you can trust, people that understand that your success means their future. Not people that, hey, Charlie, don't worry about it, I'll give you a couple of free beers. Today, there's no profit margin in this. Years ago, you could go out on the street there, if you had a liquor license, you were golden. You could have probably 20 years ago, I'd venture to say you could have got $80,000 for a full liquor license anywhere you wanted to go. People were dying to get them. It's not that way today. People don't drink like they used to. In fact, the worst part about it is they're going to have a few pops before they come in your place because they can go to, a package store and grab a few beers rather than pay you a little bit more. And you got to have your people trained to watch out for that. You got that. If you took the tips course, I'm sure they talked about the Friday night drunk. I got the right to get drunk. I work all week. I'm going to come in here and get, and those are the nuts that you got to put up with. And I say that in all honesty. Those are the nuts you have to put up with when you're in business. So everybody that's in there working around with you has to be aware of that. They have to be aware that not just Mike, not just Brian, but everybody here is going to lose a week's pay if we get closed. And you know what? All those friends, and he will get friends, won't he, Mike? You own a bar, you'll have more friends than you ever knew in your life. They line up. It's like winning the lottery, There's just something about it. They're like flies, But the point is, and I say this to people all the time, when you get in trouble, I want you to turn around. Turn around. Where's all your friends? They aren't here. And guess what? They're not going to be here. Okay? So you would be surprised. Okay? Just as the gentleman that just came in, Mr. Gauthier. He ran a tight ship. The neighbors liked him. The customers people want to go out to a safe place. I want to take, my girlfriend. I don't want my wife to know, but I'll take my girlfriend and go out, and go to a place and have a couple of drinks where somebody's not going to hit me in the head with a bottle. Because I'm old. Okay? And so you have to create that environment. And once you start, if you start from the very beginning and you let them know that you're not going to mess around, you won't have any problem. But if you're one of these guys, say, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's much like the police department walking in to the bar that we had in earlier, okay? They go in, they try to work with the guy, and they say, look, you can't do this. You've got to, you know, and the guy just blows it off. Well, what happened? After the 6th, 7th, 10th time, all of a sudden now, he finds himself in before us. And we don't want that. Mike's, I don't, you people have never been in here, have you? No. Okay? And I mean, you go down there and there's not a lot of swearing and screaming and yelling. It's a nice, and you know, as I said, nothing in the world is more important to me than my grandson, and he thinks that's a great place, hamburgers and you know, your own TV set. So, I mean, that's going to encourage other people, you know, to be able to come in and have a good time.
Absolutely.
Because everybody doesn't need to, you know, if you got good food or whatever, people will pay. They will pay if you got a quality product, if you got a nice, clean place, if you got waitresses that are pleasant, people will pay. But bottom line, all of that funnels down to one thing. And you know what that one thing is? You. Okay? So, you know, that's probably, and I'm going to tell you, you know, it's, you're young, love these guys that are full babies, love it. Makes me want to run out and have another one. Okay, enough of that said.
I just, congratulations on the newborn, but.
Thank you very much.
I just had a couple questions. Well, the first thing is, Hook Slide Kelly's is very well staffed, and I think with the multiple entrances to that building, you know, you gotta make sure that it's well staffed so people are, you know, exiting and entering properly, because I think that could be, if there was gonna be an issue there, that would be one of them, but they do a good job now, and I'm sure you'll continue to. My second question was about the walkway that I think the LRTA owns that property. Is that agreement gonna survive this transfer?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great thing with the baseball games and everything, you know? I mean, everybody likes to have a cold beer and watch the band, and the enthusiasm just in that, in the atmosphere that it creates in that end of the city. Again, for something, when they first started talking about that, to be honest with you, I wasn't against it, but I wasn't crazy about it either, because I'm thinking to myself, how are they ever gonna control all these people from walking out on, you know, they're right in the middle there, from walking out on the sidewalk with a beer and walking down the street. But they've done a wonderful job at it, you know? And I don't think you've had any vandalism, have you, Mike, outside there?
No, one TV. I mean, the kids, the high school kids, but
So, I
the
mean,
police are there,
yeah.
throwing them out.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing is just cosmetically, just it's very well maintained now, but that's an entryway to the city, and I think, like you said, the high school kids hang around, but just make sure you keep it clean and
It's part of the arrangement.
Yeah.
It's, we have to maintain it, or Brian will have to
Right.
maintain it, or you lose it.
You lose it, okay, yeah.
You gotta keep it clean, I shovel it, you know.
All right. All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made, I'll second it. All in favor, say yes.
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 Good luck.
Thank you
Okay?
very much. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I was just wanted to know about that, because they don't have the license
Yeah, they got all those TVs out there. So they have a bond on it.
still.
Hey.
We were having some fun with the video. You might want to watch it this weekend. You know, you can change the text on the bottom.
What's this here, Fred? Barney. Is this thing off? We messed this thing up on you. This was his, Brian. I took his, that one's mine.
We just pushed them all down one.
Yeah, we just slid them down one. We were just trying to confuse you. You're trying to be the sound man too now for City Hall? God, you're multitasking, constantly multitasking.
You ready, Mr. Galakis? Mr. Galakis is here before you because he has a license under the corporate name Scenic Auto Sales, and he renewed that license accordingly for the calendar year 2010. However, Mr. Galakis apparently had, through legal counsel, had dissolved that corporation, Scenic Auto Sales, Inc., and would like to have the Class 2 license he presently has, license number 642-B, which is for premises at 859 Gorham Street, be recorded as a sole proprietorship, James Galakis, doing business as Scenic Auto Sales. Mr. Galakis has had filed a business certificate with the city clerk as a sole proprietor doing business as Scenic Auto Sales, and he requests the License Commission consider his request to amend that Class II license as a sole proprietorship.
Let me double check. I'm sorry, go ahead and introduce yourself. I have a question, though.
My name is James Galakis.
All right. You're looking to change it from a corporate form into an individual form?
Correct. The corporation's been closed since 2008.
Okay, I was going to say, normally we get people who are coming in to go from the individual form into the corporate form. Okay, it's a little backward.
Going
How
back,
long you been in the business, Jim?
been in the business for 32 years.
32
Been
years?
there for 10 years. On
Okay.
Gorham Street.
And how long, I'm sorry, how long you been at Gorham Street?
10 years.
10? Okay.
So we're just really looking to transfer this from a corporate to an individual.
motion to approve.
Second, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, all set.
But do you
Thank
have,
you.
shouldn't he turn in that old license and issue
Yeah,
a new one?
new one's got to be
Well,
issued.
correct, and that would be something I would just make a comment on now, is for the fact that he's changing it from the corporation to the individual, and since the License Commission has just given approval, before we can issue that license for the individual, you need to have your bond. The bond that's for $25,000 has to reflect your name as the sole proprietor to do business as Scenic Auto Sales.
I believe I gave you that new bond, didn't I?
No, what I received when you renewed was the, for the corporation.
I have the new bond, which I just received, that says DBA Scenic Auto Sales.
But it has to be in your name.
Did you file it with us?
I just received the new bond.
Does it reflect your name as the sole proprietor, doing business as Scenic Auto Sales?
It says Scenic Auto Sales.
Your name, sir, with all due respect, your name has to be on the bond as a sole proprietor, doing business as Scenic Auto Sales, for that bond to be effective, at least in my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's right. It just, it has to have your name, DBA Scenic Auto Sales.
Right.
So whoever your insurance company is,
Yeah.
just have them print out a new one and then get it to us and we can transfer the license.
Okay.
But then you would bring in the old license, as
And the old
Commissioner
license.
Occasion was just saying, bring in the other license that was issued just recently. We'll cancel that out, and I'll issue you one for yourself as a sole proprietor.
Okay.
All right?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, take care.
Yeah.
This has been Highline's license in and out for the last several years, so wants to keep the license for the sake of the premises, the premises. Commission will now take up the matter of an application by Highline Group, Inc., Charles Fotopoulos is the president, for a used car dealer's license, Class II, for premises at 93 Chelmsford Street, this being an open lot approximately 16,900 square feet, and also there is a office trailer approximately 576 square feet. In the past, the commission has set conditions on the license that's been granted. Maximum number of vehicles for sale and storage, 75, and that there be no junk vehicles or parts on the premises.
Good afternoon,
Introduce yourself for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Attorney Brad Pacheco with an office at 175 Central Street in Lowell. I'm with the president of the Highline Group. We're before the board today seeking a Class II used car license for 75 cars.
What was the name of the used car lot that was there?
There've been several people in and out, but in the past, Highline has had a license for that location.
Okay.
The last one in 2009 was a corporation known as USA Auto Sales, Inc. They vacated the premises. I'm not sure if they were evicted, but they vacated, the premises was vacant and had not been licensed for a good portion of calendar year 2009.
Okay, so the lot's been vacant ever since.
It's been vacant as far as licensing is concerned, since, I would guess, last spring.
Is this the same group at the bottom of Westford Street?
Mr. Fotopoulos has the corporation which holds the license up on 1290?
1150 Westford Street, yes, correct, Mr. Bates.
1150 Westford Street.
Okay.
Around the corner from you.
Yep. No, way down.
Well,
I wouldn't walk that far. mean, give me a break. But he runs a good shop. It's a nice
enough time
place.
getting me to walk
Nice and clean and,
You moved all those cars yesterday, and then you got no snow.
yeah. Went by there and said, look at this guy. Hey, but you prove to your customers they start, you know what I mean? You got a good reputation. I don't see any problem with it. I'll make a motion to approve it.
And that's with the conditions that were
With the
previously on
conditions
it.
that were there, because you were there before, you had 75 cars, right?
That was his original location where he started out.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Mr. Fotopoulos, if you'd like to come by tomorrow afternoon for the license. Thank you. So his bond for the one up on Drum Hill is valid for the one here as well.
Okay.
So he doesn't need to get a new license. Also, just for your information, we have communications from the Deputy Superintendent of Police, Arthur H. Ryan, Jr. These are two communications dated February 8, 2010. I have copies for you, Mr. Chairman. Since your fax machine is disabled and your email machine is unable to do anything, Puff Inc., a complaint on Puff Inc., 171 Lakeview Avenue, and also Yung Loan Inc., 1733 Middlesex Street, a complaint against Yung Loan as well. Since the License Commission has a policy to entertain thought of decreasing operating hours in order to properly notify the
Make
each
a motion to put them
licensee
on for March 11th.
and give them sufficient suitable notice, I would suggest that the License Commission not hold hearings on these matters and not before
March 11th.
March 1st. So I would suggest possibly the next meeting in March, the first meeting in March, March 11th.
I'll second the
It's fine.
motion.
Second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. What is,
You
okay.
gotta give 14 days, so.
It's, what it is if you consider a decrease in hours, they have to have a written notice at least 14 days. And I'll be away from the office for several days, beginning of next week, just,
Gotta get me one of those jobs. You should really.
oh, I should want to point out, for the sake of the public, for the commission's sake as well, 1280 Lawrence Street,
1280, yeah.
it's a Economart.
Yeah.
License has been approved and was issued this morning to the operator of the convenience store for beer and wine convenience, or beer and wine package store license.
Okay. It's convenient for you, right? My home?
And also, there are one application ready to go for hearing on the corporate change in the alcohol license for the Songa Center. There is an attorney out of New Jersey that's handling the paperwork. You've not seen copies of it. Those gentlemen that have, members of the board that have easy access to their email have received notice of it.
Aren't they wonderful?
Anyways, there's going to be a change, and that'll be in March 11th.
Okay, Benjamin, they're giving Gumper a hard time.
Now, since I haven't looked at it yet, is it a
Hey, I want you to know
reasonably sized
Tom Brady
document?
named his son Benjamin. Okay, so pay attention.
And also just that we have an application for a beer and wine package store license for
Where?
3 Aiken Street. 3 Aiken Street? I think it is 3 Aiken. Corner of Aiken Ave and, Aiken Ave, sorry, 3 Aiken Ave in Lakeview. Lowell Provision.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they have the one on Chelmsford Street. They have a license there now. right?
Yeah, they have the one on Chelmsford Street, and so that would be all the licenses the Lowell Provision Company could have in the state of Massachusetts. Well, I'm sorry, I take that back. 2 in the city, 3 in the state.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else?
No.
We didn't get a response on our questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
law
That
department's been
Solicitor
busy.
Leahy told me that he would have it for this meeting, too.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask him.
It's on his to-do list.
Anything, Jack?
It's in the round file.
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Nothing? Okay.
I'll make the motion.
We got a
to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 We're coming home, Benjamin.